Yeah.
Hey yo, man, it's your time. Man, fuck poverty. Get this money, man. Fuck you gotta do.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phil and Leroy, the Judgmental Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This your boy Phil back in here.
And I'm Leroy. So what's going on, Phil?
Nothing much. Chilling. Just going through life's trials and tribulations,
What's the trials and tribulations?
Life. Motherfucking sick baby.
Uh-huh.
It's like she go to this like pre-K. Is it pre-K? I guess it's pre-K. And every week she come home sick. It's like she's healthy when she go there. She's sick for a whole week and got to stay home, and then she get healthy again. Then we send her back, and then she gets sick again, and it's like a never-ending cycle.
That's their fault. Because you're not supposed to have sick kids in the daycare, right?
Well, I talked to other people, and everybody's saying like this being her first time going like that. It happens to everyone, so I don't know, but they said everyone, and it's the same thing. Like, because when I talk to her, she'd be like, and she talk about different kids at the school and stuff. She be like, they don't come today because they sick. So it's other kids sick as shit too.
Yeah.
But she had a cough. It was called croup cough. I never even heard of that, but it fucks kids up, and I guess it's common where they just keep coughing. And by them keep coughing makes it worse. So they just keep coughing. You know what I mean? Like I think Tuesday, I got like 3 hours of sleep. And then the same thing on Wednesday. And I still get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
But she just she'll be asleep, and just right out of her sleep, she just wake up coughing, then she can't go back to sleep, and then she's crying. And then she tell me, I don't want to be sick no more. Daddy, can you help me? And I'm feeling bad. It's like just fucked up.
Has she been throwing up because of the coughing?
She one time, it wasn't like food or nothing, but it was just like, I guess it was like spit and mucus, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and she was sitting in the bed, and I said, oh shit, because she just kept coughing. It was like crazy.
Right.
And Shay took her to the doctor, but they didn't really do shit. You know how they do.
What did they do?
Nothing.
No medication?
Nope. Just like, I guess they was like, well, she don't have no allergies, and she's not allergic to nothing, and she's not wheezing, so give it some time and bring her back, and she has an appointment in a couple of weeks or whatever. So it was worthless.
Uh-huh. Damn.
She's good now. She I think she went back to school Friday. That was her first day back. Maybe Thursday.
Okay.
Friday. I want to say Friday. It might have been Thursday. One of those days was the first day back, and she's been all right now.
All right, that's good. At least she got better and back in school.
Yeah, for now, until she go back, and then
until next week, as what
exactly.
You're saying. Well, Phil, we got the age-old question here: can men and women be friends? Here's a guy on the street question. This is from World Star. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming it's from TikTok or whatever, but it's you want to answer that? Go ahead.
Under certain circumstances.
Under circumstances. No, I was talking about the door that was knocking, not you answering the question.
Oh, ain't nobody no, ain't no my door knocking.
Yeah, well, here's a clip from World Star where a guy on the street is asking two men about their women being friends with another man. Here's the video. Well, here's the audio for everybody that's listening.
How would you feel if your girl wanted to hang out with her guy friends?
If you're in a relationship, I don't feel like women should hang out with other men unless you're around. It's not an insecurity thing. It's a respect thing. I trust my woman. Yeah, she can go hang out with him, but out of respect for me, she wouldn't.
If I've been introduced...
Well, he was right there.
I agree.
To the person. Like, if I know...
My thing is with this, if you in a relationship, why do you need to be buddy-buddy with another man?
Well, they're probably talking about like if she had guy friends before y'all got together. So it's like previous relationship friends.
Okay, so now she's in a relationship. Why do she need to continuously talk to these guys?
Well, because in their mind, they're just friends.
Okay. Well, you know who the main topic of conversation going to be about.
Well, this guy right here, he sound like he about to say something stupid.
Yeah, here we go.
Who it is and like the relationship they have, not been around and vibe.
Okay. Because I've got female friends.
Now, what if she had a past with him?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, everybody's got a past. Everybody gonna continue to blame
But
her for the things she did.
But he's saying like, so say they had
It's
sexual relations,
okay,
and they're just hanging out by
but
themselves.
she's with me now. At the end of the day, it comes down to trust. You gotta trust somebody. If she fucks up, that's on her.
Okay. Like I said, if the woman has male friends, he'll be the topic of their all conversations, and she's going to tell him everything that this man do. What time he sleep, how he smoke weed all the time, how he get drunk when he come home from work. That man will know everything about him, but that friend, you ain't gonna know nothing about that friend, but he gonna know everything about what you doing because
He's
she
the
gonna
type.
tell
He's the
him.
type of guy that'll give his girl a pass to sleep with a brother and shit on a birthday or some shit.
or a cuckold like he in the
Yeah,
room
well, that's what I
while
was
she
saying. Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
she
the
messed
temptation.
up.
What you say?
No, I said, well, that's the same thing I was saying. Yeah.
You know,
That's on her. At the end of the day, you can't control somebody else.
but that goes
They're
back to
gonna-
respect. If she respects you, she's not going to put herself in a place of temptation to fall back in those ways.
If they're friends, if they made a mistake or whatever it may be, maybe they had a thing together, but if that thing is moved into more of a friendship, and who am I to tell them that's not my place?
Well, if you could give me a good reason why you need to be friends with this guy, I say, all right, yeah, that makes sense. But until then, why do you need to be in another man's face for and you're in a relationship? I'm confused.
And
That's the same thing with me. Why would I want to be in a bunch of girls' relationships and not a bunch of girls and I'm in a relationship? That doesn't really make sense
well,
to
see,
me.
that's where guys and girls don't think alike because they all have guy friends, and if they're not in a relationship, they can kick it with a guy friend. I mean, they probably getting benefits from it. If their guy, he's supposed to be just your friend, but if y'all go out to eat or something, of course, he's probably paying for it. If you got car issues or problems like that, and you need a guy, he's the one to call to come fix some shit or do something. I told you, my coworker's got a friend like that. She got divorced, but her ex husband, one of his friends, became like her. I guess they grew up together because she said she known him for a long time. But it was her husband's friend. But she got married at like I don't know, like fucking early in life, like 17 or 18 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But his friend, after they got divorced, his friend is still her best friend. He's a guy, and he was like at her sister's having a baby. The friend was at the baby shower, and then the friend goes out and be kicking it with her all the time. But he has a girlfriend, and that's her. They're still best friends after like she got a divorce with an ex. And I'm trying to tell her like, yeah, he's kicking it around because he's waiting for that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No guy is going to be attracted to a female and just keep her as a friend and not make a move. Now, if you already slept with her or something, but you still like her vibe, you'll keep her around as a friend. But still, even if you're keeping her as a friend, if you're single, it's going to come a situation because you already slept together. It's go, hey, you want to do, you know what I mean? It's going to lead to more probably, but it's a good chance.
Right.
Now, if you have a female that's not attractive, you're not attracted to her at all, you know what I mean? Then maybe she could kind of be a friend. But like I said, like, if you're a single guy, why would you spend a lot of time with a female that you're not attracted to or a female that you're attracted to that don't like you in that way when you can spend it with a female that will give you the time of day?
Exactly.
My place is to be her security. My place is to be who she comes to at the end of the night. If she chooses me, she's going to choose me every time. If she chooses him, I can't control that. At the end of the day, I wash my hands, I'm done.
Okay. Well, here's another clip from a podcast. I don't know what this podcast is. I saw this on TikTok where a guy says, beware of these male friends because he was one of them. And listen to what he was doing.
Oh, we already know.
Yeah.
Just by raising hands, how many ladies in here have male friends? All right, boom.
God.
If you were in a relationship and your dude was like, I don't like you, really contacting your male friend, would you cut your male friends off?
Absolutely not.
I feel like it's a boundary you have to set in the beginning of the relationship. I can honestly say that's where I fucked up in most of mine, is where you end up in that lovey-dovey puppy love stage and you don't explain the fact that you have male friends.
If he was just like, I don't like that you got a guy friend. No.
I have fucked all of my female friends. And
see, bingo.
This has happened in many different ways. A lot of it was through years of friendship where we were actually just friends. Still wound up out of the friend zone eventually on the heels of a breakup with the last dude. And they all knew about me. It always got brought up somehow. Who's this dude? Don't worry about him. He's just a friend. I'm like, yeah, I'm just a friend. All right. I'm just a friend. And then I was fucking his bitch. But see, I loved all of them. And I had sex with all of them. The men in every one of those scenarios was right to worry about me. So you're 100% correct. Don't listen to any of this bullshit. We will have sex with your girlfriend.
Thank you.
Exactly. And the thing is, most guys know that, but most females think, oh, even if they know that the guy like them like that, and if they tell them no, we're not like that, we're just friends, they think that's it, and in their mind that is it, but not in the guys. He said, all right, well, we just friends for now.
See, I don't think it's every woman thinks that way. I think that most women, well, let's say more than half, think it's that's their guy that's in the batter's box. Because like I said, if she has a male friend, when she's talking to that male friend, her boyfriend is going to be the main topic of conversation, and she's going to tell him everything that boyfriend is doing or not doing. I don't know what you want to call it. And then homeboy here is going to give his advice. See, I would never do anything like that.
Well, see, because so this friend that you're opening up to and all this, and you're not thinking about him because you're seeing other guys, you got a boyfriend, he knows everything about you that you like, your dislikes and all that. So when it comes to the end, if he just crack on you and you're single, not doing nothing, she can easily start thinking like, well, damn, this guy been under my nose all this time. He maybe he is the right guy, and give him a chance. And he knew like that's the only reason he hanging around. What else is the reason to hang around for?
Right. And another thing when it comes to women, most women, now this is like 70-80%. Most women ideal man they already had around them, but at that time they didn't do anything with them or not. And so like you said, now when she break up with this boyfriend, who went sitting there in the wings in the batter's box?
Mm-hmm. Show me a attractive female that has a male friend that's ugly that she spend time with and kick it with in public. Most of the time is a guy that's all right looking that she's cool with, that she spend time with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
We're waiting to. And that's not all I'm doing is waiting. I'm also working. But while I'm working, this process is working itself out. This dude is having all the time. And
they're laughing because they know he's right. And most of the men that they didn't rolled around with, the same thing happened. One of them dudes that was hanging around, oh, we friends and all that stuff. Then after that bar night and those drinks and after that eating food and watching a movie, one thing led to another. That's why they laughing.
The world to fuck up, to slip up. He's the one that wants to move her into a fucking house somewhere and take up all her time and be in her fucking space all day. Your boyfriends are always correct. Like, what do you mean you have a male friend? He's looking to smash, and in my experience, I have always gotten to. A lot of dudes didn't, but it's bad enough that the intention's out there. The main reason is a dude don't even want the disrespect of you keeping men around that want to fuck you. He doesn't want you letting them feel like they ever have that chance.
That's what I was saying. Exactly. That's what we were saying.
Yes.
Right.
So like me, I don't have no female friends. I've hardly ever had female friends. I mean, like girls that I mess with, then I might be cool with them after that, but not a girl that I've never like. One of my coworkers was like, well, we friends. I'm like, no, we're not. We're coworkers. Like, we don't kick it after work. We don't kick it. We're associates. We're coworkers, but we don't kick it after work. You don't call me up on the phones, see how we check in and see how we doing and stuff like that. We're not friends. We're coworkers. You know what I mean? And there's a difference. If we kicking it outside of work on our own personal time, then okay, maybe we starting to move into the friend zone or something like that. But if all our communications is work related and at work, you know what I mean, then we're not friends. We're coworkers.
Right. Shout out to I think this is the Red Pill Lines. I'm not sure. Red Pill Lines podcast. I'm not sure. But this was a clip I saw on TikTok and I said, this guy's absolutely right. I said that.
Like I said, what happens with the coworker or the person that's just friends when you start kicking it with on a regular? Guys got intentions. Even if you don't feel them like that because you thinking y'all just friends, you're right. He ain't thinking like that.
No. Especially y'all going to bars and bar/restaurants and he paying and all that stuff.
Well, that's just like my wife. She said, well, we was friends. Yeah, okay, where you at now?
Yeah. Well, we here every week for relationship advice. If y'all want some relationship advice, hit us up on our social media. We'll answer your questions. You heard Philip said he ain't play that fun shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah, the movies, but you already had attentions. Well, let's go to Indianapolis, Indiana, where 46-year-old Tamika White, a sheriff deputy with the Marion County Sheriff's Office, was attacked and killed by dogs while doing a favor for a friend. Here's the report.
Well, tonight, family, friends, and the Marion County Sheriff's Department are remembering a deputy killed in a dog attack.
She was a 46-year-old mother, and she was dog sitting along with her 8-year-old son last night at her home.
Look like her real uniform. You see how big it is?
I was about to say the same thing. The uniform is way too big for her, but maybe it's her. Maybe she's just real small. So that's like sometimes when people are real small, they can't get a size that fit them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I have coworkers that scrubs and shit like that. Fucking is just way too big for them or whatever. So if you small like that, is what it is. But the story don't sound right. What are you doing, dog sit?
They'll get into it.
When it happened, police tell us that the boy was hurt too, but fortunately, his injuries are not considered life-threatening. Tonight, we're learning about a history of problems with the dogs who were at that home.
And we're hearing from the Sheriff's Department. They just held a news conference about 3 hours ago.
John Duran was there.
Oh, yeah. This is a sad story, but we have to, I'll be remiss if I don't shout out this reporter here.
For that, he joins us now live with what he learned today. Hey, John.
Shouting out.
A red dress.
Oh, she all right.
And Tamika White was highly regarded as both a mother and a sheriff's deputy. The Marion County Sheriff's Office tells me White worked here at the Community Justice Center in the courts, and they're just as broken up as anybody about her death as we start to learn about how this attack could have happened. An absolutely unthinkable tragedy.
It's very rare that you have a dog attack that results in death.
Police say Tamika White was killed by an aggressive dog at her home. Neighbors say the attack happened just beyond this gate.
Makes you think that maybe she was trying to intervene in what happened.
Her 8-year-old son managed to escape the home with minor injuries.
First and foremost, Deputy White was a mother. She died last night protecting the most important person in her life.
A devastated deputy chief with the Marion County Sheriff's Office says White was a 17-year deputy.
You never saw her without a smile on her face, and she would do anything to help her friends, her family, and her fellow deputies.
IMPD is now tasked with investigating the attack.
Some type of pit bull mix.
Neighbors I talk with tell me the aggressive dogs weren't familiar.
They weren't there before. So she was dog sitting, and I talked to her the day before, and she confirmed that she was dog sitting. So, and that she was going to fix the fence.
A fence neighbors say the dogs have.
But it's not her house. The fix.
Yeah, that's what it don't sound right. You gonna fix a fence, but you don't live there.
Right.
Your dog sitting. Why you ain't got the dogs at your house? Them motherfuckers be in a cage somewhere in the backyard.
Well, let me read. Let me finish.
Broken through before.
They had been loose a couple times over the past weekend.
That neighbor tells me White's 8-year-old son came running out of the home's front door, frantically looking for help.
He was in shock. He kept repeating several things over and over concerning his mom. He wanted people to look at his injury. He kept saying that, and it was underneath the clothing, so, you know, the paramedics and everybody took care of that.
I reached out to Animal Care Services about any recent calls they may have had near that address, and in part of a statement, they told us an Indianapolis Animal Care Services animal control officer did respond around 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon to report of 2 loose and aggressive dogs in that area. The officer found 2 dogs in front of the address, a broken fence, and a 3rd dog in the backyard. Police told us on the scene that Animal Care Services removed 3 dogs from the house, not including the dog that was shot on Tuesday night. And Felicia.
What they didn't say in this report is, okay, we already know that's not her house. I'm assuming it's a man that she's dealing with, or maybe like a girlfriend. Yeah. So he has 3 dogs, and she I guess he was going away or whatever. She brought her dog with the kid with her son with her.
Mhm.
Now I don't know if these dogs had any type of interaction with each other, but that was a big mistake
Well,
bringing
that's what
your
happened.
dog
Those two
over
pit bulls
somebody's
jumped
house.
the other dog. She got in the middle and they tore her ass up.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. You never bring your dog to somebody else's house like that. And and about this fence, what does that fence have to do with her? Why is she saying, "Yeah, I'll fix the fence"? That's not your house.
That's what I said. So it's her boyfriend house. It got to be her boyfriend house because there ain't no girl spending no money like that to fix a girlfriend house.
Right.
That's her boyfriend house, and she was over there watching them dogs and brought her dog over there. All hell broke loose. She tried to separate them, and then they tore her ass up.
Right. And here's the thing. Now they said that the animal control had went around there that same day, and it
Mhm.
because the dogs got loose out the broken fence there. My thing is, why weren't you supposed to be dog sitting? You ain't. Why you got these dogs roaming around like that?
Because she wasn't dog sitting nothing. The dogs was in the backyard and the fence was open or cracked the way they showed it, and the dogs just went out there. I don't know if that's called getting loose or just the dogs just came out.
Right. And how in the hell you got these dogs with a broken fence in the back like that anyway? That fence was probably broken for a good while.
Yep.
The dogs didn't break the fence like
Like I
that.
said, when she came over to watch those dogs, okay, maybe she got a dog and she need her dog there with her, but his dog should have been in a cage somewhere,
Yep.
chained in the backyard if they're gonna be in the backyard, not just all willy nilly in the open.
Right. You don't bring your dog to somebody else's house like that. That's their territory. So the dogs are
Hmm.
like, well, damn, who is this coming in our territory? And
Right.
they jumped that dog like you said, and she jumped in it, and the dog started biting her, and then the son tried to jump in it, and the dog started biting him, and she probably pushed the kid away and told him to, run and get some help, while the dogs
Hmm.
was steadily gnawing at her ass.
Yep.
Yeah, big mistake there. I don't know what the hell was she thinking about. I
Ain't
would
no
have never
way
put
she
my
should have
dog
had them
over there.
dogs in the same vicinity like that free.
Exactly. Well, we're going to go to Norville Township, Michigan. I hate to laugh at this. Where two
That mean you
class
don't hate to laugh. That mean you love to laugh.
where two class action lawsuits had been filed against the Hawthorne Center over an unannounced active shooter drill that terrified staff and patients and led to a massive police response. The center held the drill at 10:30 a.m. on December the 21st, 2022. The Hawthorne Center is a state-run children's psychiatric hospital managed by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. So what happened is, okay, this incident happened in
Is
December.
this the one I sent you?
Yes.
Okay.
The incident happened in December, but the class action lawsuits, they starting all that procedures now. So
Hmm.
that's why it's in the news. Now, this hospital is for children who have psychiatric problems, and it's ran by the state. So these dumbasses, see what I tell you about how these people have you think they have some great jobs, and they so damn stupid. You gonna run an active shooter drill in a psychiatric children's hospital, a psychiatric children's hospital where these kids already have mental problems, and you damn terrorizing them by saying it's a damn active shooter outside. Well, like Philip said, Philip sent me this, and there's an interview with one of the guys that they arrested. He volunteered to do it, and he was carrying a fake gun. He was
A fake
carrying a fake.
knife.
No, I thought they said he had a gun. A
Nah, he had a
fake.
fake knife. He had a fake knife.
Oh, okay. So he had a fake weapon, and he has an interview from the news station, but it's like 17 minutes long. It actually was good too. Did you listen to it?
Yeah, I listened to it.
Yeah, that actually was good, but it's too long to play here. But here's a report about the class action lawsuit. They don't name the people that's suing. It might not even be him. It might be like the other workers and all that stuff here, because no one knew that all this stuff was going on. First thing they
And
thinking is a damn active shooter
right.
at the
So
hospital.
they said the manager and the supervisor is the only one to know. The rest of the staff didn't know. The kids didn't know. Nobody knew except the those two people. What kind of shit is that? Those
Exactly.
those two people and then the brother. They the only ones that knew.
That no, I thought the brother. Oh, they told the brother. That's right. You're
Right.
right. He volunteered, like you said.
Dumbass.
Well, here's the report.
It was an active shooter drill that triggered fear and confusion inside the only state-run psychiatric hospital for children.
Can we
A local
can we give a shout out to this reporter for mature folks there?
Investigation exposed the problem, and now 2 class action lawsuits have been filed.
Nice looking older lady.
Mm-hmm.
Hair ain't looking crazy.
Against the state.
Attorneys say the Hawthorne Center ended up terrorizing its staff and its extremely vulnerable patients when it conducted this unannounced drill back in December. Our investigative reporter Karen Drew broke this story then and is here now with more on this new legal development. Karen.
Yes, this just happened in a matter of hours. This was the scene, if you recall, last December. 4 police agencies responded after desperate 911.
Yeah, every cop in the surrounding area showed up at this hospital.
They lucky they blew his fucking head off.
Exactly. They didn't know what was going on either. They thinking it's an active shooter. Like you said, they come in there hot with guns blazing. Suppose they would have seen somebody willy-nilly in their parking
They said
lot.
staff was calling 911, like scared for their life, and people was in there crying and shit. And only the manager and the supervisor and the brother knew that it was a drill.
Yep.
911 calls were made from inside the Hawthorne Center. It was only a drill, but law enforcement didn't know that, and neither did employees who were working there at the time. They say they and their patients were absolutely terrorized, and now they want to hold the state accountable for what they went through.
Police and fire emergency.
Hi, I'm at 18471 Saturday Road. There was just a report of an active intruder at Hawthorne Center.
What's going on?
Active shooter with AR-15. 2 active.
Oh shit! They should know how to exaggerate some
I
shit.
couldn't stop crying, tears rolling down my eyes. I couldn't stop shaking. I was trembling uncontrollably. It's created anxiety, trouble sleeping. Every time this is mentioned, it's like reliving the event.
The 2
Young lady, go on and get your money. That's the state too.
They all should get paid, but I don't like how she said he's an active shooter with an AR-15. Here, he walking around with a plastic knife.
This is a state, so you can't say they don't have any money or they gonna file for bankruptcy and all none of that stuff. Go on and get your money, ma'am. Say you don't know if you can ever go back to work again, because that's the first thing you think about is like, oh, when if somebody come in here with a gun? My nerves is bad. I barely can sleep. Go in and get it. I ain't even mad at you.
And she'll get it too.
Yep. For doing something stupid like this. I can understand a drill or whatever, but you can't do stuff like this in a children's psychiatric hospital, and then you don't let nobody know.
2 former Hawthorne Center employees we spoke with don't want to be identified for fear of retaliation by the state, but they were there during the drill and say they continue to be traumatized by it. They believed they were going to die during the nearly hour-long ordeal.
So every little sound you hear that I particularly heard, I felt like, okay, are they out in the hallway? I really have nowhere to hide that's going to protect me. So I just felt like, this is probably going to be, my last day here.
Employees barricaded themselves in TV rooms, behind mattresses, armed with anything they could find.
And the adults were positioning themselves between the door and the kids, and with the hopes of protecting the kids. But the kids were informed that if the adults were to go down, the kids would have to fight for their lives.
David Horan's son was a Hawthorne patient during that drill. The 11-year-old has been in psychiatric treatment since he was 3 years old.
I thought,
what type of psychiatric? The boy been in a psychiatric hospital for almost 10 years. He's 11 now. Been in the hospital since he was 3.
You got to keep them away. He ain't getting no better.
Exactly.
He was getting treatment there, and instead they re-traumatized him. We found out over Facebook. We were never notified by the hospital about what happened at all on that day.
Perhaps the most.
Go on and get your money too, sir.
Yeah, you can almost say like the manager and the supervisor tried to get the brother killed.
Mm-hmm.
The most disturbing thing about what happened that day is this.
But after the drill was over, a lot of the children actually had to be sedated, so they had to call emergency for like outside hospitals.
I don't mince
Oh,
words.
goodness
So I will
gracious.
say that I think the people who orchestrated this event need to be terminated. I think that it was gross negligence.
Sedated. Attorneys representing families and employees of the Hawthorne Center filed 2 class action lawsuits today. One is against the state, so the Department of Health and Human Services runs the Hawthorne Center. The other lawsuit is against specific members of the hospital staff who called for that unannounced active shooter drill. And your heart
I'm
should
not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at how they suing the state and the individual people. Boy, they really, really want to get them dollars.
Hey, well, that's how you got to do it, and that's the way people play these days. Because I just saw. Did you see the story where the newlywed got killed right after the reception in the golf cart?
Yes.
My man is suing both bars that the drunk driver went to. They're suing the restaurant that the girl went to, and they're suing the girl's supervisor and job, because they're saying that her job had like some type of office get together or something, and she was drinking there too. It's like, damn, everybody, they suing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just breaks thinking about those kids.
Yeah.
We just heard the one father talk about maybe some terminations need to happen, but what is the lawsuit actually asking
Right,
for?
many pages and lots of things that they do want to see change. They want a full investigation by the state attorney general. They want full accountability for what they say was grossly irresponsible decision making, and they're seeking damages. And remember, many Hawthorne kids were there because they had been severely traumatized before the active shooter drill. By the way, I did post the stories that we'd done before and really detailed of the police response on clickondetroit.com
So
if you want to
I
take
got a
that.
question.
Mm-hmm.
When the whole fucking area police department from all over, all them showed up outside the school, how come the manager and then whoever else is running the school, the supervisor, didn't come outside and say, hey, this is just a drill, it's not, serious and nothing like that? They let the cops fucking slam my man on the ground and handcuff him and all this shit.
Yeah. They have this news click on Detroit. They have the full police body cam. And no, like you said, they didn't know until everybody was laying down, until all the situation was
Under control.
Under control. Then they said, "Oh, this is a drill." Yeah, they said it's a drill.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cops, they was pissed too about that also. And I don't know why they don't bring that up in the news report. That those cops was pissed. Look, think of how the cops was feeling when they was going in there. They all hyped up anyway. And suppose somebody started shooting. They seen somebody running in a parking lot or something, and they just start shooting at the guy.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a messed up story.
The
but
brother's stupid though, because they told me to be the fucking active intruder. Oh no, I'm good. I'm gonna be in the classroom with my kids and we gonna hide whatever y'all got playing on.
Yep. Yeah, they did a lot of pieces. This news station did a lot of pieces on it. But the brother story was good too. It was just too long, 17 minutes.
Right.
But it was a good look at or listen to. I don't know how you want to say it. All right, we stand in Detroit, where D'Angelo Smith, a Metro Detroit man, cleared his name after friend of the court sent him a letter saying that he had a baby with a woman he never met. I guess friend of the court is some type of court. I guess that's more of like would it be child support court of Detroit or something like that. So so some lady said that he had a baby. They had a baby together and they didn't meet. Quote unquote.
Well, that's the thing. You can the way they got our system is all fucked up and screwed, because a female can just say you're the dad, and then you gotta fucking defend yourself and say you're not dad, and you know what I mean. You are gonna get hit with miscourt date. You are gonna have some child support stacking up on your ass. You gonna have the police looking for you. All this dumb shit on a lie.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the report.
Kelly, thank you. One man's life going through some unnecessary legal drama. This after receiving a letter that he had fathered a child with a woman he'd never even met. Now, vindication of sorts. It's a follow-up to a story I brought you earlier this year on his legal fight and what comes next.
She don't know me. How do you just put my name down? How do you just put anybody's names down?
Oh, that woman of his is like, are you sure you don't know this woman? Oh, she did an extensive background check before she sat in this interview.
And I don't know her, never seen her, still to this day, haven't talked to her. And it just proved out that the baby has no ties to my name. And
I'm gonna tell you what it is. The mom, she wanted benefits. So she just made up a name, just so happened this is my man real name.
Yeah.
She made up a name so she can get those benefits, and now the system is like, well, we need to find this motherfucker. And they found the first dude that had the first name and the last name and shit.
Mm-hmm.
He did bring the child in to get tested, and that's all I needed to happen.
This letter from friend of the court reads in part, Dear Mr. Smith, enclosed is a copy of the genetic test results, excluding you as the father.
Let's just set the record.
Why you laughing at her?
She's like she want to laugh.
That's my husband because I know his character.
Oh, she didn't trust him when she first started. Don't act like he was all nice and smiling and all this stuff.
Oh, sure
right.
You do.
Oh, they had plenty of arguments about this shit.
She looked like she been kicked his ass up and down the block.
Man of integrity.
I would like to say relief, but it's kind of like confirmation, really, because I already knew that I had no ties and no links to this child or this woman, and to have that letter come to my house, it was a little unnerving, but not from the standpoint of being caught up in something. It was a little unnerving that a letter like this could come to my house having no legitimacy to it.
We first brought you the story of D'Angelo Smith in late January when he presented some wild allegations against friend of the court in Berrien County. The initial letter sent to his home stated, a woman who we are not naming alleging.
Why not name her? Her name is in these court papers. She lied on the court. Why the hell you not naming this woman? And
they always protect females when it comes to stuff like this.
Right. If I did that shit like that, they would say my name.
Well, you see his name spread across that joint in a heartbeat.
Right. She went to court. She lied and said this man was the father of her baby. Came to find out he don't even know the woman. They never met. And he's not the father, obviously, because they never met. So she lied to the court. And we don't know her name. These court papers are public records. So why we can't say her name?
Him to be the father of her daughter, a child between the age of 1 and 2 years old.
She's a stripper from Detroit. We had a one night.
Now how you know that?
Right.
Night stand at some hotel that we supposed to been and went to, and this is a story that was told to me.
While playing the waiting game for the alleged mother.
Boy, our sister there was hot.
Who told him that story?
I don't know.
Because I know the courts and shit ain't gonna say, well, she's a stripper from Detroit, and this is the hotel she said y'all went to. You know what I mean? So who told you that? I don't trust this brother. Somebody got a piece of that.
That sister there, she is heated.
Oh,
you can tell. She got that look about her, like you said.
I told you, she probably busted him upside the head as soon as that letter came in.
Yep.
Took a frying pan and smacked it right across his head.
Now, who do you think got the who do you think got the mail first? And she was like, front of the court.
Because I think like most females always get the mail. Because I don't hardly ever bring the mail in. And Shay go through the mail. She take the stuff that's the bills and important shit and other shit she throw away. So when I get junk mail, I hardly see it. She just chucks it away. So I'm pretty sure she opened that mail. He probably was sitting on the couch. Hey, babe, can you bring me a beer while I'm watching the game? Uh-huh. And she went right in the kitchen, got a frying pan and smacked him upside his head.
The front of the court sends you that you got a baby. Oh, man.
To bring in the baby for a DNA sample, the school where D'Angelo Smith teaches received an inquiry for possible garnishment if
shit. And the school know everything about how you married. How you got an illegitimate kid. Damn. Oh, man, his name is in the mud. Get your money, player. Get your money.
Money? What are you talking about getting money?
He can't sue somebody?
Sue who?
That girl?
Man, she ain't got no money. That's why she put his name down. She trying to get fucking welfare.
The court?
Yeah, you can't sue the court. They just doing what they believe was the right thing to do.
Things did not go in his favor.
Where it made it not something that was being alleged. Now it's something that's being taken into action. And there's no paternity been established.
But clearly.
So are you telling me that, okay, these papers came up and they already tried to garnish his wager before they took the test to prove that the kid wasn't his?
Well, that's what I try to tell you. When these girls say that you're the dad, you got to go out of your way to prove that you're not. And if you don't, then it is what it is. That's going to be stuck. So they did all that garnishment and shit. And if he didn't fucking fight up against it, he would have had to pay it, even though it wasn't his kid. That's what I said. He would have. What if that letter would have got wet and fucking fell out the mailbox and got just, and never got it? That'd have been
Right.
his ass.
Mm-hmm.
These test results confirm that to no longer be the case.
With that being said, strong marriage or not, clean past or not, that's a very tough letter for anyone to receive.
What's those numbers? Because I would think it would say a 0% chance. What's 11? 11 mean 11% chance you the dad? Like, what is that?
I don't know. It was a whole bunch of numbers. It's either a yes or no. It was a whole bunch of numbers on that
It
paper.
should be, if you ain't the dad, it should be a 0. You got a whole bunch of different numbers on there. I told you, I don't know. You might have scooped that little stripper up. You over there sweating bullets.
Absolutely, it is. It is. The main things that they have to provide to the state of Michigan is
Where they at? Is that an office somewhere? Because that's like project walls.
It could be a office in the school. That's what it looked like.
Okay.
and a birth date and where they live.
Like, like the teacher's lounge or whatever.
Okay. That's easy information for someone to gather off of Google, off of Facebook, off of any kind of social media platform.
People who have checkered past, who have done things in the past, who have, stepped out and did things that was unbecoming of a real man, right?
Oh, shit.
But they changed and they cleaned up their act. And
it's almost like he talking about himself.
Little baby confession.
Right. Yeah, for the players that
I told you.
Who had
he said she a stripper from Detroit, and she said I was at this hotel. Well, how you know this? Oh, somebody told me that. Yeah, right.
Who had a past and who was out there before and don't do that stuff anymore. And all this stuff pop up now.
Look at his wife. She looked pissed.
Which all of us have the opportunity of doing or getting better. But a letter like
I swear he talking about himself. Like he was out there in the street around. Cheating on his wife. She done courted him. They reconciled, and all this shit happened again.
And he probably rocked and rolled with that little girl, and she probably thought like, well, hey, that's the guy I was with, and he lucked up and it wasn't his, but I'm pretty sure he was sweating some bullets. I don't know this girl.
Into that house, a man that has changed his ways, that has walked in a different direction. This letter could be absolutely devastating because of what you've done before.
Yeah, everybody don't get letters like this, sir. You must be talking about yourself. And I'm glad he didn't bring God in it because it almost sounded like he was about to.
We made several calls to lawmakers in Lansing who are familiar with this particular
topic. Like you said, look at all them damn numbers. Like, what's that?
The only number I need to see is a 0% chance you're the father.
Yep.
Topic to get some answers.
It's very unfortunate, but paternity fraud is not a unique, unusual situation in Michigan.
Senator Jim Runstead tells me he's been pushing for new legislation.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of dudes running around with kids that they think is theirs, and it ain't.
Right.
Legislation on the matter during the past 8 years, saying right now there's no penalty for lying.
Senator, what was the opposition for not passing this kind of legislation?
Well, maybe it would hinder mothers who don't want to name a particular guy or they made a mistake. But you have
yes.
Why would it not be a penalty for lying in the court?
Exactly. That's what I was saying about they should be saying her name. The court is public record. Why we don't know her name? Right.
Well, as our whole justice system, because it's even when like rape allegations or abuse and shit like that. When a girl make up some shit that didn't really happen, then they can go and say, well, you know what? I was upset and I made it up. There's no penalty for them for lying, even when they get caught.
Right. Like that punter. I don't know. Did he play he was a Buffalo Bills punter. I don't know if he made it to the main roster because remember all that stuff was going on that he like gang raped the girl and the girl was underage. I don't know if he was going to make the team, but I don't know if he played in the regular season. And come to find out that he wasn't even there when the girl so that's what I'm saying. Like, well, what's her name? But she was underage or whatever, but she was lying. Even her friends there even her friends had went with her to this party. said that she was lying and told everybody that she was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said that the friend said that the punter did sleep with her, and afterwards she was like so happy that I guess he's popular in college. I don't one of the best college punters. I don't know, but she was so happy that they rode around or whatever, and he left, and I guess she wanted to mess with the other guys on the football team too.
Mm-hmm. Well, the girl that lied on Brian Banks, and then he recorded her saying that, you know what I mean, she admitted to it.
Right.
Nothing happened to her.
Right. So then afterwards, after the gangbang, she comes out with her friends. Now you would think if they would have raped her, she'd have been hooting and hollering or crying to her friends and all that stuff. They said it wasn't nothing wrong with her. She was just like cool about it. That what she did. So my thing is, if they had all this information from her friends, why the hell was this in court? And you know the Buffalo Bills kicked him off the team and all that stuff. Now he got this stain on him. It's like, oh, well, did he rape that girl? Oh, that's the guy that raped the girl.
To knowingly name the wrong person. It becomes emotional stuff.
Respectfully, to mandate that DNA testing for the child is conducted first before a letter is sent to someone's home alleging they may be the father of a child regarding a woman whom they have never met.
They don't want to do that.
Well, that's the same thing I was referring to when they already called the school and trying to garnish his wages, and they never even did a test yet. How in the world?
That's what I said. They don't. I said they don't care if the girl say you the dad. They're gonna go already in the process of making you pay that money for that kid, regardless if you take the DNA test or not. Then you got to sit there and fight it, and then that's when you get the DNA test and all that shit.
Right.
And like you said, wouldn't it be smarter to just make him do that from the door before you fucking start fucking with his money?
Exactly.
Doesn't that seem like common sense type of legislation?
I tell you, Joshua, the common sense goes out the window. I'd be more than happy to put that bill in, and I'm telling you, it wouldn't even get a hearing in committee. I'll guarantee it wouldn't even get a hearing in committee. I ran across this before.
Well, bring it up next time, and let's see what happens.
The only reason I believe that this woman came in was because of Fox 2. Fox 2 provided a platform where the word got out, and this word spread it like wildfire quickly.
Now, the Hunter Sinclair, his name, do you think he called the news or his wife?
His wife.
Well, look, if you telling the truth, if you so-called telling the truth, how about if I call Fox 2 Detroit and tell them this story? Well, all right, yeah, because I ain't do anything.
To the point where the lady came in. Now I asked the court.
The lady, what's this lady name, sir? Because I would have said it. When he was interviewing me, I would have said her name.
Diamond. That's what he knew her by.
So the friend of course about bringing her in, they said, well, we just have to wait until she comes in. But I thank God that Fox 2 provided a platform.
He did meant burn God, but he thank God for Fox 2 for helping him out. I give him a pass on that one.
Form where the lady was able to come in, but everybody does not have that opportunity for Fox 2 to show up at their doorstep to help them out.
A lot to wrap your head around, guys. Real quick, as we did in our initial story, we called front of the court for a comment, but have not heard back. In the meantime, Senator Jim Runstead tells me if you're caught in a similar situation, your best option is to hire an attorney if possible.
So now I got to pay for something that I'm not even involved in anything. Now I got to get his damn lawyer money.
I told you. Yeah. Great. You got to prove you're innocent. She don't got to prove that you're the man, but you got to prove you're innocent. And you don't know her or you ain't had nothing to do with that. Well, that's your ass.
Also, and this is very key, reach out to your lawmakers. The senator says more bipartisanship is much needed on this very touchy matter.
It could destroy a whole relationship. I mean, luckily, here's a guy that has, he has
a solid household.
That's very
That shit ain't solid, sir. that shit wasn't solid when all this shit was going down.
Well, you can see her face and the way she was chomping down on that bubble gum. She was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people would have packed up and left and said, I just don't believe you. You could have destroyed a life.
Bingo.
Unbelievable story. For them to send that to work. Can you imagine if you worked at a certain place and the rumors would start to
Man,
spread?
that shit happens all the time.
Yeah, they sent it at a school, and a school ain't nothing but a bunch of women in there. So of course they gonna say that D'Angelo didn't.
Oh, of course.
D'Angelo messed over his wife. He got a baby.
And when you find innocent, they still gonna look at you like, did he really do it?
Yep. Well, how his name get involved in all this? And she supposed to be a stripper. Oh, he didn't been there.
Oh, I know he knew her. They talking all that type of stuff.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, it is potentially not only family
definition of character in the public eye.
Character in your life.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine how frustrated that family was while they were trying to get answers.
Highly frustrated, Amy and Jay. Highly frustrated because, again, you're getting an inquiry about your finances without even confirmation if you're connected to this particular case.
Hey, where's the proof? Wow.
A lot more dialogue is needed on this matter, Lansing, for sure.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that to light.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
That was a good one there.
This shit happens every day in America.
Uh-huh. Well, folks, let's get into some sports. And your favorite coach, Doc Rivers, was fired. Doc Rivers, he's been here for 7 years, 7 seasons.
And 6.
6, and he only they only been to the playoffs 4 times, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, so he has a 20, 20, and 15 record in playoffs for the Sixers. I'm talking about, not overall. So let's play a clip of what Rasheed Wallace said about Doc Rivers when he played with Doc Rivers when he was the coach in Boston. He pretty much said the same thing. He confirmed that what I already thought about him anyway. He was the wrong coach for them young players like Embiid and Ben Simmons. He was the wrong coach for this team. Here's what Rasheed Wallace said. I don't know if this is on a podcast. I'm assuming it's a podcast or something that they interviewed him on.
Got to get somebody in there that the players respect. He doesn't make adjustments. That's just from being in the locker room with him for that one season. That seems to always be his biggest knock. If his team is up, you don't really have to coach shit then. When you in the trenches and you going against another team and another good coach, you got to be more than a locker room manager. He depends more on the players to make those adjustments. For that coach also, you have to come in there and make adjustments as well, especially if what you're trying hasn't worked. And when we were in Boston, as far as the players out there on the floor, we were the one that made the adjustment. All right, come out the huddle. Right before we get on the floor, we huddle up like, all right, look, yo, nope. Hey, fuck that. We gonna do this, boom, 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 boom. For the way that Glenn is, he's not that hard-nosed coach that we need. Nobody wanted to believe me. Now look.
Oh, I believed you, sir.
Oh yeah. Well, we said that from the door. When
you
watch him, when you watch the games, and you watch him play, and you watch his shitty substitutions or the way he not using the bench. You know what I mean? You can see like he don't know how to make adjustments.
Yep. So, Phil, what is your thoughts on the coaches firing? And, okay, tell us, number one, what's your thoughts on the Sixers firing Doc Rivers?
I think he should have never got the job to begin with.
Yes.
I think when we had that squad with Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris and JJ Redick, and we lost to Kawhi and them that year, it shouldn't even came down to Game 7 because we had the best roster in the NBA. So if we he shouldn't have been our coach. He don't know how to coach really. Not playoff basketball. Now he's one of the best in the regular season, but with playoffs, when that shit come to crunch time, he folds.
Mm-hmm. He's like one of those coaches where he can beat like the you playing in the regular season. Okay, now how many of these teams are actually really good or going somewhere in the playoffs? See, he can beat them. But when it comes down where it's the playoffs now, so the teams you're playing is much smaller. They're good and it's much smaller. That's where he struggles.
And he has before we got him, he had a reputation of blowing playoff leads, and I think he's probably like the biggest fucking choke artist when it comes to the playoffs as a head coach. So I was like, we don't need him. So we bring one of the biggest choke artists in the playoffs as a head coach, and then we sign one of the greatest regular season players, but biggest disappointing choke artist players in the NBA and James Harden. How do you expect this to work?
Right.
And now we got Embiid doing the same shit. Third and because you know your boy Danny, he's a big Embiid fan.
Yeah, we. I was going to get into that. I wanted you to talk about Doc Rivers first.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got a lot to say about that. But go ahead.
Yeah, and it's just that Doc always every time we got, like you said, when we got a lead, he's chilling. But when we down and we need like some fucking adjustments or a timeout to be called and then a play to put in, you don't see it. You will come out of timeout and still be confused. Like, what the fuck? You just had a timeout. You ain't draw up a play. And he sit there on the sideline with this dumb look on his face all the time. That shit drive me crazy.
Right. Correction. He only coached here for 3 seasons. 154 wins, 82 losses. That's in a regular season. And like I said, 20 wins and 15 losses in the playoffs. Now, what do you think about now? They're saying that James Harden may be going back to Houston. He's going to opt out of his option year.
Did.
Oh, he did it already?
Yeah, he opted out.
Oh, okay. So what do you think about that?
But they said he's willing to come back, but I think he won like 35 or 40 million.
Can they afford that?
You don't really got nobody making money, but Embiid. So yeah,
Tobias. Yeah.
I think they can afford it, but I wouldn't do it.
Okay, why?
For one, he's old. For two, he like, and I hate for everybody, and it's the blame game all over again. Is when we lost that series when we had Ben Simmons, the whole city, everybody blamed Ben. Then the year after that, last year, Embiid blamed Harden because Harden disappeared. He did what he always does. Now this year, it's still the same thing. Is the blame game, and a lot of people is blaming Harden again, and not really. Well, that's what kept court the most flack. Harden and the head coach, but Embiid keeps skating on it, and he shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. So going back to a question I'm gonna ask you. This is kind of going back on the Jimmy Butler thing when Jimmy Butler was here. Now they say that it was because Ben Simmons didn't like Jimmy Butler, and what was the coach of the Sixers? Brett Brown. And Brett Brown liked it, Ben Simmons. So to make Ben Simmons happy, they got rid of Jimmy Butler. Is that true?
That's the rumor that's going around, but it's not true because they did a vote, and I can send it to you. I was looking at it because there's a Twitter web page where it says like what did it say? This didn't age well, and then they have like different shit on there like that, and they talk about how for the past 2 months, Tobias Harris was averaging 25 points and 8 rebounds, and Jimmy Butler was averaging like 15 points and like 6 rebounds, and they did a poll and it was like, we need to resign one of these guys. Who do y'all want to resign? And 91% of the people that voted said Tobias Harris. You know what I mean? So they got Jimmy Butler on video saying y'all chose Tobias Harris over me. He didn't say Ben Simmons. He said Tobias Harris.
Right.
If it was a Ben Simmons thing, then he would have said Ben Simmons. He wouldn't have threw Tobias under the bus if Tobias ain't had nothing to do with it.
Right. He said that he was walking, going to the locker room after the game. Yeah, I seen it.
So the thing is, you can't sign both of them to a big contract. So it had to be one. And Ben Simmons was already signed, so it wasn't Ben Simmons' fault. Another report came out, and they, I think Stephen A. Smith talked about that. He said it was some talks in the organization about re-signing Jimmy Butler with the head coach and the front office, and then they asked the coach, do you think you can manage and control Jimmy? And he said no. And he said, Tobias Harris is easier to deal with because, Jimmy Butler been bumping heads with a lot of places that he went.
Right.
So, and the thing is, Jimmy Butler is like I'm going to do my own thing type of dude. You know what I mean? And Tobias is a laid back, chill type of dude. So they went with the chill, laid back dude. That's more believable than to say he couldn't get along with Ben. Well, we had the best record in the NBA with both of them. So I don't want to hear that he couldn't get along with Ben. They like to blame Ben for everything, and Ben is not always the reason and the fault.
Right. So speaking of Ben, now what you think about that little? I know you saw. Is this an Instagram video or was it a picture of him watching the Sixers game? And everybody on Twitter hated seeing that he was kind of trying to make fun of the Sixers, and everybody saying, "Well, where's he at?"
I saw the clipping of it, but I I didn't see like the him making the fun of it. I saw him smiling and he was watching the game. What were you
Right.
supposed to be clapping or what are you supposed to be mad? Like if this was a team that treated you like shit your last year there, wouldn't you be happy to see them get knocked out when they blamed you for getting knocked out? Now you're not there and they're still getting knocked out.
Right.
So I don't know, like if it was a video or just a clip, but I think it got blown out of proportion, bigger than what it was.
Okay.
He didn't say nothing. Like if he would have said something, it'd been different. All they got was a screenshot of him watching the game and him smiling as with the Sixers losing.
Right. Yeah, they was trying to say he was making like a little rapper subliminal diss to the Sixers.
Please.
And he court hell. He court hell on social media about that.
Mm-hmm.
I say I don't see nothing wrong with him. Is he
Thing
still under contract with the
yeah,
net?
yeah,
Oh,
he's still
okay.
there. But the thing is, it's almost like we fucking with Ben Simmons now. He ain't been here for a couple of years now. Why is we still concerned with what's going on with him?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Oh, they all talk about Ben Simmons. The social media Sixers fans on social media, they always talk about Ben Simmons.
And we all we did with Ben Simmons is had like the best record in the league and was kicking ass. We should have had Ben Simmons, even Matisse Thybulle. Those guys was making all defensive teams and they was shutting down. We had like the best two wing defenders in the game on the same team. And Doc Rivers came here. He didn't even use Tobias Matisse Thybulle. He didn't use him. He sat on the bench and then got rid of him. So that
Mm-hmm.
tell you all you need to know right there. Now you got these guys busting their ass. If Thibault was on the team, what's the name when it dropped 16 and 51 and 16 in the fourth quarter or whatever he had, and 51 for the game? What's the guy name for Boston? Tatum. We had
Mm-hmm.
nobody to cover Tatum, and Doc didn't know how to adjust to it. Like put two guys on and make somebody else beat you.
Right.
You saw he was hot, but he just kept him like out there just busting ass one on one.
Yep. Now, Philip, cousin Danny, and cousin Danny has been a guest on the show before. We had this conversation about trading Embiid. Me and Philip, we cool with trading Embiid, but cousin Danny, who's Philip always say that's Embiid biggest. No, they're friends. Did you say
They're friends, yes.
He can't understand why would you trade NBA MVP. And my thing is, why wouldn't you trade the NBA MVP? He's the MVP, so his trade value is through the roof. When it comes to Embiid, it's not going to get better. It's not like he's the NBA MVP this year. It's not like he's going to improve the next year.
Right.
He's going to, that comes with age because Embiid is 29, 30.
He'd be 30 next year, I think.
Okay, so he's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse, especially when he flip flopping the ground, always walking with a limp, be hurt, this and his back that, and his legs a foot. Why wouldn't you trade him?
He's been.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he's been here for what 9 seasons, and in
Right.
those 9 seasons, we still haven't gotten past the second round. So with him getting every year the playoffs start, he's hurt, he's banged up. All he wanted was the MVP. He got the MVP, and this game still stunk. Like, and I posted that on the website when we were talking about him because he kept saying all this other stuff about him. But last year he averaged 30 points in the regular season. Playoff start is 23.
Right.
This year he averaged 33 points in the regular season. Playoffs is 24. Like, no, we need that beast that's in the regular season for the playoffs. And it's the same excuse every year. Well, he playing hurt. I don't want to hear that shit after a while. You can't keep using that same excuse every year.
Right. And then he mentioned, this is cousin Danny mentioned about Akeem Olajuwon in the playoffs. He won a championship. So how the hell you going to compare the two?
Right.
He won a
So
championship.
like
Go ahead.
the year when Ben Simmons was on the team, and he said, "Well, I felt like the series changed when he gave up the dunk for instead of 2 points or 1 point." How about he had like 8 turnovers in one game? We don't talk about Embiid turnovers. You know what I mean?
Right.
But turnovers is a major factor. How about rebounding? Like he showed what's the name rebound, but rebounds shit. If you looked at it, all the dark stuff mean he was leading the playoffs. Olajuwon was a beast on the boards, and Embiid is not a beast on the board sometimes, but for the most part, he gets you about anywhere between 8 and 10 boards. That's not beasting for a 7-footer.
Right. Now, okay, say like a player like Harden's going and we get Damian Lillard. Okay, Lillard in 2024 We'll skip 25, 2026, 2027, maybe let's say 2028, first round draft picks. If a team had came up, if the Blazers or they doing, you know how they do those multiple team deals, if they came at the Sixers with that trade, how can you not entertain that? What I just mentioned, like four first round draft picks and Dame Lillard.
If you can get one first round pick and a Damon Lillard form, you should jump on it.
No, that's too low. Now, see,
No,
now
it
you
ain't.
going.
No, it ain't.
Yes, one first round. You see how what they got for Harden? The Rockets got for Harden.
Yeah, but Harden wasn't injured. Harden had these problems that Embiid got. Every year, Embiid is going into the playoffs hurt, so a team can look at it and say, well, damn, every time the playoffs roll around, Embiid is hurt. Is he going to be able to hold up in the regular season? He only played, 60 games twice in his 8 years,
Right.
9 years?
Well,
so Harden would at least play and wasn't injured all the time.
Well, then the Sixers can say that Embiid was the NBA MVP. So you're going to have to up them draft picks.
He ain't playing like no MVP in the playoffs.
And then Cousin Danny says
you're not going to get a superstar and multiple first-round picks for
him. 3 first-round draft picks.
No, you're not going to get it.
I don't see that.
You might can get one, and if you get 3, then you're not going to get a superstar with it. I'm telling you.
And then Cousin Danny says that he's not with that because the Sixers is bad at draft picks. That's our point. Change everything and get people there that's good at making draft picks.
Right.
That's the point that we was trying to make.
They talking about bringing D'Antonio
that's
as
a disaster
and re-signing Harden. Hell no.
That's a disaster because D'Antonio has that running style. Is Embiid going to keep up with that style of offense?
That's the problem. We got young players that want to run, but Embiid can't run like that, and Harden definitely ain't running. So you gotta figure out what your identity going to be. Is y'all going to be a slower team setting up in the post and just feeding Embiid, or y'all going to be an up and down running team? And if you decide to be a running team, then it's time to move on from Embiid.
Exactly. Like I said, if they hire D'Antonio, Embiid is getting traded because he can't run up and down the court like that. Here's a guy that's already injury prone, like you said. Now you want him to be running up and down the court? No, it ain't going to work. Right.
I think Morey should get fired too.
Yes.
Let's clean house and just start fresh. Danny talking about, well, then we back in the lottery and we got to start over. Well, we ain't getting nowhere in the last 8 years. So what's the difference?
Exactly.
And we ruined a lot of good players because we drafted a lot of good players and that shit ain't paying out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? In this process thing. And they was good players, but we had to give them up to try to get a better pick. And that turned out to be Ben Simmons and Embiid.
Yep. Because
you look at all them other players that were stars in college that fell through the cracks.
Well, the starting player that they should have kept is the point guard. Oh my goodness. What's the point guard with all the brothers in the league?
Drew Holiday.
Yeah, there you go.
Now he's one of the best point guards when it comes to playing defense in the league. And this guy, as soon as he made the All-Star team, we got rid of him.
Yep. Big mistake.
And then we draft centers back-to-back years. We had in the first round, we had what's the dude from
Okafor.
And what's the other dude?
From Kentucky. I know who you're talking about. Is both of them still in the league?
The one Okafor not in the league, but the other dude is.
Oh, I forget his name.
I can't think of his name. Yeah, those guys was first round picks. You got the dude that's playing for what's the name? I don't know how we fuck up his shooting for him and make him
Folks.
Yep. Markel Folks.
You know, he's not really, if you look at him play, he's not really that bad.
He's solid. He's solid.
He's got that shitty the jump shot looks weird, but it be going in now.
Well, something happened when he was here. He got hurt. He could shoot a little bit when we drafted him. That's what made him like a top first pick. But something happened where he messed his shoulder up, and a team brought in a shooting coach that changed his form. And when they changed his form, he just never was the same after that.
Yep.
I think because they changed his form, he kept trying to adjust to the new form, and it didn't work. So it made it worse than it was. And now he's going back to his old form, and that's now he's a solid NBA player.
Yeah, he's not, and he's I would actually put him in my underrated category because he's very underrated. Watching him play in Orlando, he's not that bad of a player, and he's very quick, and he's like a big point guard. Not height wise, but like kind of like Husky.
We gave up on him too soon, like we do with a lot of players.
Right.
I mean, Okafor was averaging 8 rebounds and 17 points, and we got rid of him. And I think that was only like his second year or something like that. You know what I mean? We got rid of him because they kept trying to get rid of these players to move up in the draft and get the next best player coming out or the next best player. You know what I mean? And in
Right.
the end, doing all that dumb shit, it fucked us in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Now, reports are that your old boy JJ Redick is in a running for head coach of the Sixers. What's your thoughts on that?
I like JJ Redick. I like his style. I like that he's a shooter, so he can work with young guards. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's not really a great passer, but he's okay. I think we need a guard to help Maxi because if you can get Maxi to run the point, I mean he's not there yet, but if he would be able to be a point guard, then he can start. He can't really. Do you want him off the bench? He don't really do nothing off the bench. Like you to maximize his offensive game, he got to start and get quality minutes, and that's when he
Right.
be busting ass. But that he's not really a passer, so he can't. He's too small to be a shooting guard, and he don't have the passing skills to be the point guard. So he's like a betweener.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm in your boat with JJ Redick. Oh, that's also Sixers fans on social media was giving hell about that. I'd rather see JJ Redick than Mike D'Antoni.
Hell yeah.
So, and like I say, maybe he might come with a new system, bring some new type of energy or something.
Right.
So we just never know. We just never
I
know.
like
And I
JJ
like
Redick,
Mark Jackson too.
Mark
But
Jackson, or Monty Williams. I'll take any of those three.
yeah, Monty Williams too.
Even though Monty got his ass kicked the last 2 years in the playoff, just 2 years ago he won like coach of the year.
Yeah.
And now his starting point guard is hurt, and you pick up KD at the halfway point. Those guys need time to play together and not be injured. And that was wrong that they fired him.
Right. Yeah, I would like to see those. But wasn't a team was thinking about getting Mark Jackson?
I don't know. It's weird how he got let go out of Golden State and just never been back.
Oh, you know why?
Yeah.
That's why he in the hot he in yeah, nobody ever, and he's the one that made the team what it is now, and nobody ever talks about how he turned that team around.
Well, Steven Jackson was just talking about that. How a good that when you're a young coach, black coach, they give you the worst team in the league, and as soon as you turn that team around, they fire you and put a white guy in there to take over and win the championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he the one that had Steph shooting like he was doing, because when Steph first came in the league, he wasn't shooting like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was shooting. When I mean about shooting, I'm talking about attempts, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Attempts, because they would never let a smaller. There's never time in an NBA where they'll let a small point guard shoot like that. Now you might say Allen Iverson, but Allen Iverson wasn't really a point guard. He was just like he was like a shooting guard, but he was real small.
Right.
But nobody was jacking up threes and stuff like that. And
Well,
that's
you
all
got to
Mark
remember,
Jackson.
Before it was Steph, he had Monty Ellis shooting
Right.
like that, and Monty
Mhm.
Ellis was lighting it up too. But they wanted Steph to become the man, so that's when they traded Monty Ellis.
Right.
But that was all Mark Jackson doing that put that together, and that style of play got them players playing the way they was.
Yep. Anything else you want to add on the Sixers?
No, I mean it is what it is.
All right. Now, anything you want to add on sports?
Sports. What do you think is going to happen? Who's playing in the NBA Finals?
Denver, and I'm gonna go with Miami.
Denver and Miami. That's the easy option because they both up 2-0.
What would you pick?
No. I'm saying that's like a fucking good bet to go with. But if it was 0-0, I would have hoped that it would be the Lakers and Boston.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? An old school Boston versus LA type battle.
Right.
But that Denver team, man, all those guys can shoot and they run, and it's like, damn, why we can't play like that? I'm talking about the big guys put their head down and drive to the hole. The little guys drive to the hole. They kick out and they just pull the three. There ain't no hesitation. Ain't no slow game. They just move.
Yep. Yep. Denver's a very good basketball
Right.
team
And
too.
we're like the Lakers. We're slow balling it, moving it up, and taking our time with it. And then next thing you know, when you play them fast teams, you look up, you're like, shit, we down by 15 already.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Especially if they can shoot, like you said.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like is Miami is a bad team, and that Jimmy Butler, man. So I don't see them blowing that 2-0 lead. I would like
Mm-hmm.
to see the Lakers come back, but shit, like I said, it's just hard when you down 2 games to nothing. That means you got to win 4 out of the next 5. That shit is hard. It can be done, but that shit is hard.
Right.
And I think LeBron single-handedly blew the last game because they was cruising. They was on a nice little streak, and then he started pulling up for threes. Like all game, he wasn't shooting a three. Everybody know he's been struggling with the three. You put your head down and drive, you getting baskets. So why you stop doing that?
Yep.
And what's his name is just a flip flopper like a motherfucker. Anthony Davis. You never know when he going. 1 minute he can drop 40 and crush it, and the next minute he can have 12. Like you never
Yep.
know when he gonna show up.
Or get hurt.
Right.
One or the other.
So is you gotta have James LeBron James play good. When LeBron James play good, they're in the fight. But when he's playing bad and you got to depend on fucking AD, you in trouble.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. You can reach the Judgmentals on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok and YouTube at PNL Judgmentals, Instagram at the2_judgmentals, or you can email us at pnljudgmentals@gmail.com. All right, Phil.
All right, man. Peace out, everybody.
That's why I stay on the low. Most of y'all is associated.